Says I'm live. Here I am. It is Sunday, and I thought I'd come on in to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody, wherever you are on this big, beautiful planet, and just tap in to see how y'all are feeling with everything. Yesterday was such a bippity boppity boo kind of day, don't you think? I mean, yesterday had some twists and turns and some crazy, crazy energies that were coming in throughout the day and even throughout the night. I really felt the one hit at around 9 o'clock, and I was just out. I just said, nope, this is it. I'm done, and slept. And I just I crashed. And not sure. Good morning. Good morning, everybody on Instagram. Good morning, everybody on Facebook. Good morning to everybody on YouTube and Instagram. Woo! So, and Facebook. So, good morning. And if you are on my YouTube page, please like and subscribe and share. My goal is to get 1,000 people on there subscribing, because that's my thing, is that, when you are doing this work or whatever business you are, it doesn't matter, whatever business you have, it is that showing up every day. And even in showing up every day, you might be exhausted, you might be tired, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this today. This isn't, but the thing is, as I pulled out the cards today, the Knight of Gabriel's coming out, and it gave me a perspective of looking at what I do. Because with my job, okay, I'm a psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and an astrologer. I'm a teacher. I'm starting to mold more into the energies of where I want to go. And the beautiful part about this, is that, yeah, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed right now. There is a lot on my plate at this time, especially, not only with family, financials, the whole bit, because, yeah, does the lockdown affect me? Yeah, it does affect me. Does all this crazy energy affect how my business runs? Yeah, because when people are fearful, they don't want to spend their money. They don't want to do things, so they want to hang on to their dollars, which is understandable. And being fearful of everything else, right? I'm working this morning too. And that's the thing, is that, yeah, there's this fear that is out there, and it is there. And yeah, the energies are coming in and saying, come on, we got to get going and we can forge ahead. And did I leave them out? I did. Twist my little body around. So in the reading this morning, we had the Five of Raphael, which is the Five of Waters. So the Five of Waters comes in, and Five of Waters is like really gnarly, because we feel like we need to release. There's a silver lining on everything, but we need to begin to release things. And then the Nine of Michaels is all the swords going through, right? And you're worrying unnecessary. So there's unnecessary worry. And yeah, I know you can say, well, yeah, you could say that, but you got to focus your thoughts on the outcome and the desire. That's why yesterday's energy was so much in a forward motion on getting us to look at, what are you wanting to plant your seeds down? What is that energy that you want to go towards? And start declaring that going forward. This is a declaration of us saying, this is what we are wanting to do. Now, we're coming into a first quarter square with the moon. Why is that important? So the moon, as it travels around, it goes around, we know, every about 28 days, 29 days, it goes around. This, rotates around the earth. And as it's doing its rotation, and the sun is, and the earth is rotating around the sun, it's doing this magical dance. And in this magical dance, it meets up when it's in the new moon. The new moon, we begin, and it's like a fresh plate, per se. So here's this fresh plate that came in of what we are wanting to dream. So it is the nighttime. It is the dream time. It is the time of bringing out our illumination. Okay, the new moon, we're wanting to bring out the illumination. And as the moon is moving away from the sun, it's moving away. We're moving away from that energy, right? From the sun, and it's moving around the earth. It's coming into what we call the first quarter square. The first quarter square is where are you with that of what we're wanting to illuminate and put forward? Is that still on the plate? Is that still what you are wanting to do? Is that part of the agenda or not part of the agenda, right? And if it's still part of the agenda, cool. Is there something there that you need to tweak? Now, the moon is in Cancer, so the moon is at home, and it feels pretty good there. And it feels really like, okay, I'm at my home, but there is stuff happening that is out there. There's still craziness, and there's still a lot of tension, and we're feeling it intuitively. We're feeling it within our bodies. We may not be showing it on the outside of our bodies, but we are definitely feeling it on the inside. And in feeling it on the inside, it is a vibration. It's like, my analogy is always the rock going into the ocean or going into the pond. So the rock goes into the pond, and those vibrations out are your intuitions. They're vibrating out, right? So we have this vibration out, and it hits to this sort of bump, and that's that first quarter square. And it's saying, okay, are you still, yes, there's a lot of craziness and energies that are coming in and vibrating within you. Are you ready and still wanting to take the action on where you are wanting to go? And if it's a hell yes, then it's a hell yes. But if it's a hell no, then it's a hell no, right? So we allow ourselves to take that time to look at it. And so we take that snapshot and we take a look at it. So we begin to create and, bring in our great passion, bring in that instinctively knowing just what it is that we want to do. So today, Sunday, is a fabulous day for moodling, for drawing, sketching, figuring those ins and outs of what it is that you are striving to go forth, and breaking it down into a definition. Taking this energy and breaking it down to a definition so that you begin to be more precise on the energies, on the direction, on where you want to go. That's what this energy is right now. And it's going to be exact at 0 degrees Taurus and 0 degrees Leo. Now, any energy at 0 degrees, when we're at 0 degrees of something and it's sitting there, it is taking on the full force of that energy, full force of Taurus, full force of all of this coming in. And here we also have Venus is there, Uranus is there, Mercury's there, and the sun is going to start coming into Taurus tomorrow. Now we know it is an earth sign. Taurus is an earth sign. It is bullion. It is the money sign, right? So the second house is money sign. It rules money. It rules how we deal with our money. It rules how we spend our money, how we project, how we live. All of that is in the second house. That's Taurus. What kind of people we want around, what kind of people we don't want around, right? Taurus is the negotiator. He's the one who go out because he doesn't want to burn any bridges. He wants to make sure everything is still on the table in some way and negotiable. So we have negotiations that come in with this. And sometimes it can be overwhelming because Taurus energy doesn't really release. It's not a releasing sign. It is a sign that's sort of like, just in case I need you, I'm not going to burn that bridge. So it can bring its enemies close so that it can still negotiate and deal with what is happening or go back to. Now you have Uranus there, and Uranus is like, he's the one who's been shaking up all these deals. He's the one who's been shaking up all of this energy. And the thing is that since he is in Uranus is in Taurus, he's meeting up with all of these guys all at once. He's meeting up with Venus. Wow. Come on, baby. And this is her home. She rules money. Venus rules money. She rules the finer things. She rules, the good relationships. She rules that energy of having the good chocolate, the good wine, the good everything. Like she wants that. That's what she wants. That's Venus, right? Guess who her daddy is? If you look at anything to do with mythology. Well, because Venus was born from the froth of the ocean. Now, any of you guys might get a little bit blushy here, but Uranus is nuts. His ball sack was cut off and it was thrown to the ocean. And from that ocean formed the froth. And out from the froth of the ocean appeared the great goddess Venus. So that's kind of like her dad. So here she is coming up and she's meeting with him. Well, she hasn't met with him for a while. It's in a sign that she rules. This is my house, Dad. And he's like, you know what? I really don't like your house. I really don't like being here. This is kind of like a shit show for me because he's electric. He's air. He wants to be in the air. He wants to be electrical. But in comes Venus and she's saying, you know what, Daddy? I know you don't like being here, but this is my house and I want you to have a little respect. And he's like, honey. So this is like the crazy old dad is coming in the house and has been there. He goes, I'm going to be here for a while. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for another 4 years or so before I move on. But as I'm here, he goes, this shit needs to be done. And she's like, oh, no. So we're feeling this. We're feeling all of this drama. We're feeling all this transformation and these changes that are happening in our earth, in our world, in and around us. And she's like, oh, what kind of changes are you going to make? He's like, you know what? People have to start beginning to think. People are going to have to start to create their own. They're going to have to start to vibrate in a way that allows for them to connect more with this earth. He goes, that's why I'm here. Nobody's connecting. Nobody's respecting. They're disrespecting you, girl. And Venus like, oh, really? Well, what do we need to do about that? And Mercury's is like, whoa, he's in there. He's coming in because he's speeding. He's like, Speedy Gonzalez comes in and he's speeding through there. And he's like, ooh, what's going on? What's happening? What do I need to know? What kind of information can I give you all? Because he's the god of information. So we're going to find, like, especially as we're heading into this week, it's like there's going to be, things are going to slow down, but yet there's going to be a sense of urgency. There's going to be a sense of, and that's that, it's not always it's not in a good way. It is a sense that we are going to feel that internalness as we're building up to the full moon in Scorpio. So we're building up to this energy. So this is why we're saying today, take some time and let's moodle things out. What precisely is it that you want to be doing? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What does that taste like? Right? And this is where Cynthia's like, I'm going back to work. I'm not listening to what Mama has to say today. La, 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 la. This is why we have to take this energy and work on what we need to work on. So this is getting precise. So what is it? What is your I am and what is your I want? It's great to say I am, or I want power. Okay, cool. Now, when we say that, you're like, oh, well, why would you want power? What are you, power hungry? No, let's just break it down. Just take a chill pill, everybody. Power. What does power mean to you? I want to be in control of my life. I want to be in control. I want to have the power to make changes and transformations in my life when I want to. I want the power to be able to work and do what pleases me, what aligns with me. I do not want to be dictated by others what I can and cannot do. I want my power. See? Oh, Okay, so let's bring in power. Let's bring in that power. Yeah, I want power. Yeah, power is good. So what does power feel like to you? Is it scary? Is it overwhelming? What does power feel like? So let's bring in that power. Allowing yourself to feel that power. Because as you start to feel the power, as you start to bring in that energy, then we're working with this energy to go forward. So we're bringing that in to move forward. And that's what we want to do. We want to bring in the energies for transformation and change for ourselves. Okay, I want to bring in the power. So bringing in the power and the change. And you go, what? I want to bring in health. Because I want to have the power over my health. I want to be able to bring in the vibrance, and I want to be able to feel energized. I want to be able to feel an alignment with what I do, and having the knowledge and the wisdom to do what I needed to do, and allowing myself to align with that of others in what I do. Now, it doesn't matter whether you are, it doesn't, like, you could be any job. I don't care. It doesn't matter what kind of job it is. It doesn't matter what kind of work you do. So this covers the whole gamut. So this covers it all. So this is saying, okay, and I also want to bring in abundance. What does abundance mean to you? What does that look? Abundance could be abundance of love, abundance of clothes, abundance of jewelry, abundance of sprinkles. What is the abundance to you? So breaking down the word abundance. Okay, I want to bring in money, honey. I want to bring in abundance of money, so I am not always having to worry about how to pay the bills. I don't want to always worry about how I am going to get my coffee in the morning. Okay, so these are you breaking it down because you're also being truthful with it. And that's the beauty of this. Being truthful with this energy. And when you're coming into your truth, sometimes that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable because it's like all your mind, your ego will go to say, well, that's kind of greedy. You want your coffee every day, or you want to be able to do whatever, or you're wanting to buy the latest upgrade in your computer system or phone or what have you. But this is where this energy is coming in. It's like, are you just wanting to be this bypasser and just say, yeah, I just want to be happy? What is happiness? What does that feel like to you? This is where this energy is coming in. And it's work. This is work, baby. This is work. This is you looking at it and taking the power to create and allowing yourself to have the power to do what it is that you will to do. Because yes, the bumpiness is definitely going to be coming in as we move more into the spring, as we move more into the summer. And we have all of these planets that are going to be retrograde all through the summer. Yeah, that's going to bring in disruption. That's going to be having us look at parts of ourselves, look at things that we were afraid of maybe in January or November of last year, to be able to put in the transformation and changes that we want to put in. But if we are not allowing ourselves to look at it now, then it might be a little bit more difficult down the road. So this is allowing us to move through this energy, allowing us to create. Now, I know some of the my beautiful millennials that are around 30 years old. You guys have been having a hell of a time the last few years. And I know you've been having a lot of transformation and changes, and you also went through a Saturn return over the last couple of years. I'm going to speak to you guys who are in your 30s right now, because it is imperative that you start to form a very strong foundation for yourself. And there's been so much fight against, because you have Uranus and you have Neptune in Capricorn as well. So when you have Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn along with Saturn, yeah, that's bringing in a lot of disruptions against the system on how you want to be. You don't want to have a typical relationships. You want relationships. You want children. You want this. This is to get out of your head, get out of that idea, and start to formulate the truth of what it is that you truly want. And that is to the parents of those children too, because they are going through these changes. And there are ones that are like 28. I'd say the ones that are about 27, 28, 29, 30, and the 32, 33 in that age group right now. Then you have the next age group, which the ones that were born in the 80s. So anybody was born in the early 80s. Now you guys are going through another transformation and change within your chart, and that has to do with your Pluto square. So wherever the Pluto square is, wherever Pluto is in your chart, there is something that's happening there. There's a struggle or a power type of struggle that's happening there with you. Now Pluto is like a trine. So there's you and what it is that you desire, or what you're working on, and then there's that obstacle that is there. And it's to look at that obstacle of what it is that is stopping you from doing or creating. And those who are going through this right now are having a hell of a time too. So we have all of these layers of different energies that are coming in for different people right now. Now, the thing is, yes, there's all of these crazy energies. Now, here's the bonus. We got a bonus here. Here's the bonus is that now the divine God, the goddess coming in and saying, here, we know that there's some struggles and some craziness that has been going on in your life. Maybe there's been that you've been going through drugs, alcohol, some form of addictions. Maybe you've been going through craziness when it comes to doing with relationships and jobs and money and transformation. So you've been going through a hell of a lot of transformation with all of that. So here it is. This is the bonus, is saying like, here we go. Let's sit down and look at what it is that you truthfully wanting to put in. And yeah, your brain is going to go, but what about this? And if I do this, and what is, no. Because when your brain starts going in, when your ego is starting to take you out on all different tantrums and all different lines, it's getting you confused and getting you out of your alignment. So here it comes, and it says, no, what is that alignment? And Venus, and we're going back to Venus and Uranus, because Uranus is dad, and he's saying, what is your alignment with your truth of what it is that you truly want? And being honest with it. You want $1 million? Cool. What does it mean to have $1 million? How are you going to do it? What are you going to do about it? And start to work towards that. You want to have children? Fine. What does that look like for you? How are you putting that energy forward? That's where it's at. And throwing out the excuses. Excuses be gone. Dr. Wayne Dyer, excuses be gone. There are no excuses. The only excuses that are stopping you from doing what you are wanting to do, and I fully get into those excuses all the time, is that your own thoughts and your own beliefs. Your own thoughts and your own beliefs. So what are those thoughts and those beliefs that are holding you from going towards what you are truly desiring? That's the bonus of this energy right now. It is Aries still. And it's saying, let's take a look, baby. Because if you don't want to take a look at this, then we're into another 2 year, at least a 2 year cycle, because where Mercury is out of bounds, or Mars is out of bounds. There's a 2 year cycle with that. Then we're in another 7 year cycle with the Pluto. And this is where you make the changes and transformations. We're also coming up to a 35 year cycle, an ending of a 35 year cycle. So I'm thinking of myself in 35 years, I'm going to be like 90 something. So I don't think I'm going to worry too much, but I'm going to worry about the next 7 year cycle. The next one, the one I'm in 90. I'm just hoping that my goal is by the time I get to be 90, I'm golden. I am golden. I'm fine. I'm doing well. And I'm sitting in my house, right? And I'm sitting in a place where I want to be. So that's my goal for that. But I need to place things down. I need to do things now in order to get to that golden spot. That's what it is. And yeah, we can be, there's a lot of worry. There is. I know there is. And there's a lot of fear. There is the fear, but the night's coming up with confidence and enthusiasm and bringing in that enthusiasm. And that's the golden spot. So the energy's there for us, but it comes down to each individual person and being honest with oneself and coming into that honesty. And what is that honest piece for you, and stepping forward in it? Taking some time today to really moodle this out, honestly, because when the moon hits the full moon in Scorpio, and I'm laughing because I'm a Scorpio and I know what a full moon in Scorpio means, right? So you're talking to somebody who has 7 aspects in their Scorpio sign. So it is I got a full house in Scorpio. So this full house in Scorpio is saying, you know what? Hey, it's heavy, but it's transformational. And when you are able to work with this and create the transformations you want, then it's not, you're not going through all the muck. Or you're going through the muck, but it's not as bad as what you thought it would be. You know, I'm thinking of the volcano in St. Lucia, and it's like, thinking, it's like the implications of that volcano and the horrific that it's doing. But it is an awakening for people to say, you guys live on an island with a volcano. Honestly, you do. So the reality is it did erupt in the 70s. Okay, when Chiron at the same fucking place where Chiron was. It erupted on the same day in the same degree where Chiron was in Aries in 1970. Ironic, Chiron, healer, maybe they're not healing what they are supposed to be healing there. Maybe there is some underlying current that they are not actually paying attention to. Maybe they are totally disconnected from the island, that the island is saying, fuck you. There's a reason why our ancestors did things with the earth and played homage to the earth. Yeah. There's no perfect path. There is no perfect path. No, God. If there was, I'd be on it, girl. I'd be going. It's a constant work that we do. It's constant work. It's constant work. So for us today, let us mull over. I know I didn't, I've started putting up intuitive readings for each of the signs. And I'm like, this morning, I was like, oh my God, I feel so tired. I'm exhausted right now. But I will get those up right after I do this and get those intuitive readings up for each of the signs. Because that's what I want to do. So I got to get off my ass and do it. So there's always, this is it. I can spend 2 hours saying, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to do it. Or I have basically all the information written out, or I could take the next 30 minutes and bang and get it all out because I already got the skeleton part put together. Right. So my loves, there you go. I want you to have a fabulous day. I want you to go out there and start declaring what it is that you want. Start declaring that energy that for the transformation and changes that are happening, especially on our planet. It is a crazy ride we're on. And I said to many people that this is, the 35-year cycle, or I'm going to say, 35-year cycle that we're in is a cycle that is really this transformation and change that's going on, this change that's happening in the world with the virus, and how it's formulating and how it's unfolding for all of us, right? That is part of the change, that is part of this cycle. And part of it also is how we are using our voice to speak up for our power, for our rights, and not allowing it to be taken away from us. And that's a big one. That's a big one. When they declared when they declared corporations as having rights like a human, I remember I just I said, what the hell does that mean? He says that means we're in trouble. And that was from dear old Harold. He goes, that means that we are in trouble. That means that they are giving power, that they are saying an inanimate object, something written on paper, has power just like you do walking down the street as a human being. And that they can make those changes more quickly than you can by the scratch of a pen. And so that's where we start, looking at and start awakening and saying, okay, you know what? No, no, we're not going down that path. It's, it is the shit that keeps coming to me, and the shit that I keep seeing. It does scare me. It does scare me because it is, the conspiracy theory of saying that they can identify you anywhere was something that was brought up in the 80s of identification. And, people were saying, oh, that's stupid. Oh, they can't do it. But it's there, right? So the changes in our world are there. The supercomputer by Google is there, and it's underground. Like, they can't keep this computer above ground because it gives off so much heat. They have to have air coolers on it 24/7 because if they don't, it could just melt. It's just it solves a problem in under 2 seconds, whatever the problem is. Right. And however complex that you put that problem to be. And it can calculate different things within history, and even right down to exactly where the moon and the sun were on that. And it can calculate the variations of that and how many times it came into this world and those transformations. So it can calculate things before it even happens. And that's where, when we give power to things, we have to be aware of where we're giving our power to. So that's why I say it's very important for you to know where your money goes. That's power. Your money's power. Venus comes in, your money's power. Uranus is saying your money's power. But let's change it up. They did it with GameStop. Why did they get so upset with that? Because these guys were changing it up. They're changing the narrative. And when people start changing the narrative, a lot of people get upset because you're not following this agenda. You're not following what we're saying. And here this is part of the change and the transformation, is saying that, yeah, you may not be following the narrative because you don't want to go along with it. Now, I'm not saying for you to go out there and be a dumbass and get yourself fucking arrested. But what I'm saying is that use your words wisely. Use what it is that you need to use, because there's ways of manipulating systems. There's ways of utilizing energies in order for you to create what it is that you want to create. It is called the earth. It is called coming into the earth. It is called working with the energies of the divine, coming into that divine energy. You don't hear many people talking about God and utilizing God. And I'm not saying this in a religious sense. Well, if you're religious, good. Whatever, utilize it, pray, use your prayers, use your gospels, but use it in a way that is going to heighten other people and allow empowerment for people. And that's what counts. And that's where this is all about too. How are you empowering yourself and your family and those around you? How are you embracing, and are you looking at the truth that's going on there? Or are you hiding? And you can't hide. And that's part of the energies coming in, saying you cannot hide with this stuff. You got to allow yourself to shine amongst the backdrop of the darkness. And when you're allowing yourself to shine in amongst this energy, it's giving permission for other people to do the same. So take our time, allow ourselves to shine, because we have the confidence, the enthusiasm, and the courageous, charismatic energies that are there for us. We have to trust them and know that sometimes it's very hard to trust when things don't move the way that we want them to move, or it seems like the other side is moving faster than our side. So we go into a panic, and we go into our fear mode, and we go into unnecessary worry and causing chaos within our lives instead of causing the steadfast energies that we know that we need to be staying focused on. And that's where this is, that's the astrology. That's where the energies are coming in. They're and showing me. And stay true to your God. Stay to, and when I say God, when I use the word God, it is a definition of the God and the goddess. It is my mother explained this to me when I was little, and I'm just like, why do they always talk about guys in the Bible and they use the word God? Where is the female? And she said to me, point blank, she goes, the representation of God is both male and female. God has no sex. And I was just like, oh. telling a 9-year-old dad, like, oh, God has no sex. What does that mean? Didn't understand it totally, but basically it was saying that the God is both male and female. The goddess is both. Without the goddess, you can't have a goddess without the God. You can't have a God without the goddess. So, whenever you mention the God is there. So in knowing that's empowerment, that's empowering you. Knowing that is there, right? So let's bring in that empowerment. Let's bring in that beauty. We got to hike. We got to hike, baby. We got to hike on our hands, but it's going to be a beautiful hike. It is. There's going to be, it's like no road, no path. No path is perfect, right, Cynthia? No path is perfect. So we take it, we go along it, and we grow. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take it. We're going to grow and move forward with all of this. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Have a blessed Sunday today. Enjoy. I think my grandson's outside playing in the snow. He's out there. He just wanted to go, let's go play in the snow. So let's go build a snowman. And enjoy your day. Have a blessed one, everybody. And we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.